a trophy.
Hello and welcome. This is a Steamdeck OLED. I have it, and we're going to talk about it. This is Midlife Krisis, a show about being old. It's really kind of what it boils down to. And also like video game shit and whatnot and what have you. So, my associate, my longtime partner here, you are a Steamdeck early adopter.
I am. And I'm fighting an allergy
I was just going to say,
right now.
you're also also fighting a cat-induced allergy attack.
I'll do the best I can this episode, friend.
Look, here's the deal. We aren't going to go super long with this one, or at least we're going to try to. But and if we get derailed by a sneeze attack, that's just going to be fine for the people out there. No question about that. But okay, so you got a Steam Deck when it first came out. I was unemployed when the Steam Deck first came out, so I did not.
I ordered mine, I think 6 hours after it came out. Certainly within the first day, and it still took. I ordered it in February, and I got it in July, late July.
Yeah, that was 2020, right?
2021.
Okay, so but still like dealing with in the heart of the of COVID supply chain bullshit for sure.
Yeah, could it have been 2022?
I don't think so. I think Steam Deck was out for 2 years before this guy.
Okay, so 2021. I think it is 2021.
Yeah, we do need to be mindful. Shaking this table moves that piece of shit TV that I'm using as our monitor. Hopefully, I'll cut this all out. But anyway, so okay, I did not have any money to buy the Steam Deck when it first came out, but I had I will say just a casual interest in the first place. So what I thought was cool about it was, I already had a Steam library, and I know the bulk of my Steam stuff would run on this machine.
All of it.
Yeah, literally all of it. Because it's like all I have on my Steam account is old games, pretty much. Yeah. And then, of course, obviously, I have Fire Pro Wrestling World on there because you have to. It makes sense. But anyway, so I was like lukewarm on the Steam Deck when it first came out. The whole idea really intrigued me, obviously, of like, here's essentially a gaming PC in a handheld.
Yeah.
But I've owned a Switch since the day it came out, and like, I barely use that thing in handheld. Like, and a lot of times I feel like
me too.
I'm actively missing out on stuff when I'm playing in handheld.
Yep.
What's funny now, though, and this ties into this too. So I bought the Switch OLED because my original launch Switch started to make like horrific like death rattle kind of sounds. It still works, but the internal fan's dying, and I plan on replacing that because it's a launch Switch, and you can do fun things with the launch Switch very easily.
Turns out.
So I want to keep it alive. But anyway, I upgraded to the OLED, and that hype was all the way real. Like, I found myself going out of my way playing it handheld more often just because now I felt like I was losing an experience playing it on my TV because I don't have an OLED TV. I just have an LED TV. But that screen on that OLED, especially when you're talking about like color saturation and stuff like that, it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm playing Mario RPG on it right now, and I honestly, this is the first time in all of the years of me owning a Switch where like I actively prefer playing it handheld because I think it just looks better. The colors pop.
That's great.
So anyway, I'm setting that up to say like this Switch OLED, which also has an OLED screen that looks absolutely fantastic. I thought that I would own it, fart around with it, buy this video game console because that's what I do, and then like kind of like move away from it. But that has not been the case, and in fact, I'm like kind of hooked to this thing. So I'm gonna turn it over to you. You can physically handle it if you're listening to this show only and not watching us on either YouTube or Spotify. We'll try to do our best to speak descriptively. But obviously we're talking about a thing that we're holding in our hands here. So we might screw that up, as people do. So, fair play. But, anyway, I use this thing like literally all the time, and it's not just like playing the games that I have on my account. Like, I really love buying new stuff, and I'm kind of blown away at how well it works with modern games. And we can get into that a little bit. And then, of course, I'm deeply exploring all of the emulation features of this thing.
And there are many.
Yeah, it's crazy. And that stuff is insanely easy to do. We can get to that too. But so anyway, I'm going to hand this over to you, an original Steam Deck owner. So now this is the only time, or this is your first time using an OLED?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And
first thing I notice is it is noticeably lighter.
That's what people tell me. And I guess with the original Steam Deck, like playing long play sessions, like depending on the person, could be like a taxing thing, like where your like forearms would start to burn because it weighed so much.
I was just thinking about carrying it around. This would be significantly easier.
Yeah. So one of the things that's really cool about the Steam Deck, and by God, it should be this way because the thing's so freaking expensive, but it comes with a really nice case. Like that's like how it's shipped to you in that case, basically.
Yeah.
So like I have no concerns when it's in that case. Just throwing it in a backpack is easy enough for me. How do you use your Steam Deck, and how do you transport it around?
I just throw it in a backpack without the case.
Oh. Why does that not shock me?
I mean, come on,
the slightest?
Who are you talking to here?
It's so cool. Well, to be fair, I have seen your Steam Deck, and my bad. I should have told you to bring yours today so we can kind of compare them. But you do have like this crazy like piece of armor that has like an additional battery that's attached to it.
Yeah, I went all out for mine. I bought a skin to actually put onto the Steam Deck, and then an external battery, the best external battery that I could get that would actually fit on the back of the Steam Deck, which is a 60 watt, 60,000 milliamp battery. So between those two things, I can get like 4 or 5 hours. But I have to. So on top of my Steam Deck being heavier, just in general, and then I also have to buy a battery to make sure that it gets adequate battery life.
Literally adding a brick to it.
Right. So yours, you don't have to add the battery to, probably, because you get more battery life out of the gate, which is one of the biggest advantages, on top of the thing being lighter.
Yes.
So it's like you're getting a lighter device, and it uses it gets better battery life.
Yeah. Well, so there's 3 main reasons for the upgrade. And it's the weight of it, the OLED screen, as we've talked about earlier, and then the new battery life. But supposedly the battery life is because they could fit a thinner panel for the monitor. Like they were able to add a larger battery, and because the OLED works the way that it does, it has less of a drain. And I think there's also like there's an upgrade to the processor too, where it's not like a more powerful processor, but it heat dissipates better, or maybe it's like a smaller micron thing or something like that.
Okay.
In any event, it all works together in a cohesive experience to give me better battery life. So I don't have. I never had an original Steam Deck, so I've heard that it had some pretty shitty battery life. On that thing, I can play something like a Devil May Cry 5, which is a pretty modern game, came out in 2019.
I'm playing Doom right now.
Okay, yeah, so I get about like 3.5 hours on a game like that. But if I'm playing like Dolphin, the GameCube emulator, like it's like 5 to 6 hours. It's pretty sweet.
3 hours, I think, is acceptable for a AAA game in the palm of your hands.
Yeah,
that would last, a car trip or a bus ride or a
small flight.
Yeah, shortish flights. So that's pretty good. If you're going on a long flight, just get an external battery like me.
Yeah, attach a 10-pound brick to
it, and then you're good. Okay, so have you been playing this? I guess you're playing it handheld then, right?
No, I am docking, baby. So I happen to have a USB-C dock that was compatible with this thing. So I actually I'm paying, I would say 60-40. Maybe, yeah, you know what, if I'm honest, I might even say 70-30, 70% handheld.
Wow.
Because the damn thing is so comfortable in my hands.
Yeah, it really
So
is.
like I bought for the Switch years ago, I bought the Hori Split Pad Pro, I think it's called, where it adds these 2 weightless like controller, like pro controller halves basically to the Switch, and for a person with big hands, like it's a lot more ergonomic for me. So this thing out of the box fits my hands pretty well. One thing I don't like about it, I've gotten used to it just because I've played it so much, but I have grown to appreciate the, how do you call it, the split analog sticks, where you have one kind of up and the other one down. Okay. The way this is here, where it's like they're almost parallel. You have the D-pad right next to the analog stick, and then you have the action buttons right next to the right analog stick.
But Sony has them parallel, though.
It is, but you still have to go lower. Like the D-pad is up and left, and then the action buttons are up and right. So like there's like this kind of diagonal motion with your thumbs or whatever.
Oh, so this is like
it's right next to each other. So you got to move your thumbs exactly left and right.
Yeah.
It takes a little while to get to. For me, it took a little while for me to get comfortable with it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is what it is.
Have you tried have you tried doing handheld but Bluetoothing third-party controller to it and then just playing that way.
Yeah, I did that just to see if it would work. Just cause like I just
Yeah.
set it up on like propped it up and played with an Xbox controller. And yeah, it's nice. It's cool. I definitely prefer holding that thing in my hand
Really?
than doing it. Yeah.
Oh,
I think it is. So that's one of the things that I was kind of surprised by. Having seen pictures of that thing online, and not, I think I'd played your original Steam Deck maybe once, and it was a long time ago. It's like right when you first got it, and I didn't put a bunch of time into it, just kind of checked it out. It's really comfortable. Like I wasn't expecting that, because when you see it, it looks kind of like
bulky.
Yeah, it looks bulky. It reminds me of like a Wii U gamepad, like almost like a Fisher's Price toy or something like that,
Game
but
Gear,
black.
Yeah.
Game Gear, Atari Lynx, like that stuff. But it's like the shape of it feels perfect in my hands. The button placement, I'm used to it now. I also really like the trackpad stuff.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah, and so I know, like, reading online, like a lot of people shit on the Steam controller. Like in practice, like on paper, they thought, "Oh wow, what a cool idea!" But then when you actually used it, I think depending on the game, obviously, I got a pretty decent amount of use out of my Steam controller.
Me too. In fact, yeah.
Okay, so you get it then too. So
well, and you're bringing this up because of the trackpad.
The track
on it, and that
specifically,
was innovative.
Yeah, and like I would play a lot of older point and click adventure games. I would play that one handed with the Steam controller. And just like use the trackpad for my thumb, and then like
that's beyond what I was doing. Very good.
Well, and then also I Groove Coaster, which is a game my son and I really like. It's like a Taito produced rhythm game, and you can use the trackpads to hit your notes. And that felt really, really good, and the haptic feedback added to that. So all that stuff is obviously on the Steam Deck too. I know a lot of complaints for the original was like the haptics don't feel super good.
True.
To me, I don't think they're any better on this.
Okay.
Like, because they're really nothing to write home about.
Once you've done the DualSense controller and Astro's Playroom, everything else feels very, very inferior, even on Sony's offerings.
I was gonna say, like, almost especially on Sony's offerings, considering like it's there, like they can do it.
Yeah.
It's just it's the GD third parties. They for whatever reason, there's not much of an incentive for them to implement it, and so they don't. And then Sony themselves kind of also stopped doing it too.
So they're doing okay, like on in the new Spider-Man game, for example. They take advantage of the built-in microphone in the controller, so it sounds like you're talking to somebody through a walkie-talkie or a radio connection because you're hearing them communicate through the controller.
Okay,
so that's nice. But specifically with like the actual the ability of the haptics to demonstrate resistance on the triggers in the controller. Nobody's really done that very well since Astro's Playroom. And then also Astro's Playroom, you also had the ability to blow in the controller to do stuff with that. Nobody's really done anything with it. So anyway, there's probably like 6 features that controller brought to the table.
And then no one's really doing much with it
with
anymore.
like 4 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so Astro's Playroom obviously is the best use of it still to this day on PS5. Then Returnal, and then Ratchet and Clank.
Yes.
And those are it.
Yeah,
that's kind of the end of it.
That order is right. Yeah.
It's funny too. Like I'm playing Resident Evil 4 right now on PSVR 2. Absolutely adoring it. I still haven't finished it yet, but supposedly there's adaptive triggers in that game too. But really, it just feels like when you're moving through the camera is panning through different things, like you can feel the triggers like almost like activating and deactivating, but the actual throw doesn't change.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's going on here? You know, like why are you doing this to me? It's like you're teasing is what you're doing, but whatever. So for the Steam Deck, like the haptics are still but yeah, I'm with you. Like, it's like, you know, I was impressed with Star Fox 64 and the Rumble Pack. And then essentially from there, I've just gotten comfortable with it, and it just kind of exists. And then the only other time I was ever like wowed by haptics was when the DualSense 5 first came out. But other than that, it's just whatever, rumble. So as far as the games that I'm playing on there, as we record, there's that winter sale going on. So I just got the new Doom, or not Doom.
I was just about to look at your profile here.
Yeah, go nuts. I have, what's it called? So in the sale, I bought Doom 2016, which I love. I think that game is absolutely perfect. Yeah, it's so good.
Isn't it really like?
And then it's
a Doom game.
Oh yeah. And then I got Wolfenstein 2, which I haven't played yet. I played the first one, but I haven't played what's it called? Something Colossus yet. And then Devil May Cry 5, just because the Steam Deck can play it, and that's amazing to me. It is amazing to me that it can play that game, even though it's not super special. It is to me, damn it. But I do want to talk. So for me,
Rise of the Triad.
Yeah, Ludicrous Edition. Have you checked that out yet? Night Dive. Are you familiar with Night Dive's work? Night Dive Studios.
No.
They're for people like me who are into like preserving old games and stuff like that. They're doing really, really, really good work. That version of Rise of the Triad that they brought the original team back and they made a whole new episode for the game, and it's using all the old stuff.
Oh, so
it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's so cool. But yeah, Night Dive's on Steam or PC, I should say. That's like one of the developers I search for on the Steam store to see what they're doing.
What is this one? Koihime Enbu Rio Rei?
Yeah, perfect pronunciation. That's a fighting game. It's just a fucking 2D ass anime ass fighting game.
Okay.
Have you? Let me see what you have there. I want to show you one. Oh yeah, so I think I mentioned this on an earlier episode, but I'm replaying Grand Theft Auto 4 on here, and man, it's fun. And plus the new one of the other features of the OLED Steam Deck is that it does 90 frames refresh rate. So like I'm playing Grand Theft Auto 4, and I think Doom also. I'm playing 90 frames a second.
Yeah.
And it's like I noticed that. It's really cool.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy. That was a new year, new fresh duds, and a new outlook on our favorite source of media out there. You know what I'm talking about? Talking about huge fucking CDs, right? Talk about Laserdisc reviews. Okay, first off, it's as I said earlier, it's a new year, right? Okay, so let me just start with the elephant in the room, right? I saw the video that they put out. Alright? And there's some things I need to address to the community. And I have the time. I paid an hour for this restroom at this Flying J. I'm not going to fully disclose my location, right? But it is a Flying J and I did pay for the hour, okay? Okay, so the most important thing that I wanted to address about this slanderous hit piece, alright, is that I did fully and expertly review all of Time Cop. I completed it. I scored it. It was not my intention for that Virgin mobile phone to melt. That was not my intention. My intention was to review Time Cop in its entirety, score it, and get it out there. Alright? For you, the fan. Woo! So because now I have the time and the platform, I'm going to do this the right way. And I paid for the fucking hour, Jack, so here we go. Time Cop is such a fucking badass movie, right? It's got our boy, our favorite of all time, Jean-Claude Van Damme, right? We've reviewed his material on the channel thoroughly and from the right place. That's each and every time. This is no different. This movie is fucking so badass. Jean-Claude, he is a cop. His daughter or wife or some shit was murdered by a villain. And this is in the future. And he knows this guy who has a time portal machine, right? And what he's able to do with it is, like, go back to the crime in his mind, right? And then punch in the coordinates. Go through this, like a Stargate type of a thing. And then go stop the crime. Stop the crime before it even happens so that his future is good. Just like me. That's what I'm working on right now. I'm going to stop the crime, all the crimes that my roommate has committed, because I know it's you behind all this shit. You forced me out, that's why I was on the run. So let's start there. Let's start there. The truth hurts. And I know it's you that funded that hit piece. I'm never going to stop. I'm never going to stop reviewing Laserdiscs. Time come. 7,500 out of 10. Easy. Oh, unbox. 8,500 out of 10. Easy. So the first, before I sign off and move on to another review, I do need to address this. So as you know, I'm not giving up on Laserdisc reviews, but I did need to change the way that I left so that I could continue to go forward. So I've done a little bit of my own work here. I'm just waiting for it to heal. When I'm done with my reviews, as you can see behind me, there's a facility that I will wash the wounds and we'll take a look. I don't know if that's, I'm probably not going to be able to pull that off. Like, within the hour, like the whole thing, I gotta finish. But you'll see. It's probably going to turn out good. So, like and subscribe. I love you and I'm never going to stop. Never.
Have you played? Where is it? Oh, damn it! I have it downloaded here. Anyway, it's a 2D old school point and click adventure game called Harvester. Have you heard of that game?
No.
So it's weird. I highly recommend it, but it uses like digitized graphics and shit like that, like Mortal Kombat did. And it's like that movie Pleasantville. Yeah, the one in the 90s. It was
Reese Witherspoon. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. She's in it. So it's like that, but like way more fucked up. And it like involves like a satanic cult, and like you're in this like Pleasantville type 1950s like like perfect idyllic town, and shit's not as it seems. And there's a scene in the opening of the game, which I think it came out in 1995 or 6. So like I get it, it's pretty edgy. We're right on the cusp of Jerry Springer happening. But there's a scene where it's like this like really bad looking CGI baby in a crib, and its fucking head explodes and like a bunch of wasps fly out of it. And you're like, well, it's like the Ally McBeal baby with its head exploding and wasps falling out of it. And I was
That's
like,
all you had to say,
yeah,
Brian. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Holy shit. It's amazing that this game came out in like 1996. But anyway, so back to the Steam Deck here. I am blown away by how good of an emulation device it is. And it's like, it's as easy as you hit the Steam button, go to desktop mode, which is, it's just like it looks like a knockoff of Windows, but it's Linux based. And then you go to their app store, which is in like the main menu. And then right there is like, oh, here's your PS2 emulator. Yeah. Here's Dolphin. Here's a PlayStation emulator. And like, I understand that Dolphin has been around for a long time, and that people have been playing Wind Waker in 4K for a long time. Yeah. And like the Smash Brothers Melee community that is, as arguably as big as like any other online gaming community, they rely heavily on Dolphin to do stuff. But this is Daddy's first time using it because I'm just not a PC dude. Like this is my gaming PC. Steam Deck is my gaming PC.
Well, that's why a Steam Deck is just perfect for you because
because it's a console.
Right. Yeah. I have the problem where I already have a really awesome PC with a really giant screen monitor.
Right.
And it's hard to downgrade to the Steam Deck unless you're traveling. And I'd use it all the time while I'm traveling, but I don't travel that much because of kids, family, etc. But for somebody like you who doesn't have a PC, like this can be literally both a portable PC and you can play it docked at home. So it really is perfect for you.
Yeah, the dock. So I'll come back around on emulation because that's really like what I want to gush over the most about it with. But back to the docking thing. So it's not noticing like right away like that I have a 4K TV in most games or whatever. So it just goes straight to like its default resolution, which is crappy. But some games are optimized for it, and it looks like it'll at least go to 1080p. Do you have any experience playing it docked at all? I mean, you have no reason to. So
no, I don't. No.
Okay.
I should probably fix that. I should probably I own the dock.
Yeah, you own the thing.
Yeah.
So plug it in. Anyway, like that's a complaint that I have. Again, that could easily be me just being a moron. But of the games that I've played docked, like they just kind of go to like 720p, and for me, I'm that's fine. Like whatever.
Really?
I don't give a shit, dude. I'll put on a PS3 game, and those like most of those games are 720p. Xbox 360 same thing.
Yeah.
So like it's not super ugly to me, but now like it becomes like, well, do I want to play this on my TV like bigger, which isn't this OLED screen? Or do I want to play this 720p game on a screen that's kind of a lot more natively closer to 720p, and it's an OLED screen? So that's why I find myself playing it handheld more often than I do the TV, because I just think the experience is a little bit better. But yeah, so the dock thing is cool as like an additional feature, but it isn't like, I don't think you can equate it to like how the Switch works with its docking thing. And also too, like I didn't know this until after I bought the thing, but you know how like on a Switch, like the dock, part of the magic of that system is like you just set it on the dock.
It's there. Yeah.
With this thing, with the USB-C thing being on the top, like the unofficial one, I assume still has a cable that you have to plug in. I mean, the official one, right?
Yes.
See, that's dumb. That's stupid. I'm sure it's related to the heat exhaust, how everything's low on here.
Yeah.
And I am by no means an engineer by any stretch of the imagination. However, like if you're going to make this thing dockable, they should just fucking copy Nintendo. Yeah. Because like the ease of use of just putting it in a thing,
that's true,
and then it works.
Yep.
The fact that you have to like plug it in on the top, I think is a little dumb. But in my case, like I already had a dock lying around, so I didn't spend any extra money. So all of everything I just said is a moot point for me.
What a whiner.
Yeah. Hey, look, it's 2023. This is what we do. So yeah, let's chat about emulation on this. Okay. Thing. What have you done? So have you done any?
Oh, no, I did a lot.
Okay.
And of course, because I'm a tweaker.
Yeah. Here on Midlife Krisis, Uncle Bob, a proud tweaker.
Very proud tweaker. And so I modded the hell out of it as soon as I could. And I only got about 3/4 of the way to what I wanted.
When you say mod, do you because one of the things that I want to stress about this is that I know that there's a whole bunch of extra stuff that you can do. Like I can go download a whole like custom built images and like like root the thing if I wanted to. But all of the emulators that I put on there so far have just been like given to me basically.
Yeah,
in the desktop mode.
So let me correct so first of all, I'm using dated language because this is Midlife Krisis after all.
Yeah.
I'm saying modding because this is like what we used to do back when it wasn't so easy. But in reality, I'm just doing the thing that you did. We're just getting a whole bunch of emulators. I don't know if you did this, but I got Game Pass, so you could play Game Pass on there. There's a way you can kind of finagle Game Pass to make it work.
It's like a cloud
there.
thing. The one, so I have,
yes.
I have a GOG account with a pretty decent little library over there too.
Yeah.
And I did the thing that you needed to do to make that happen on here, and that was stupid. That was like such a convoluted, dumb thing to do. And the best part is like I screwed it up. So everything was fine and working, and I had like my GOG thing on there. And then because I missed a step that you had to do in like the Proton layers, and I shut off the Steamdeck, everything I did was deleted. Every little thing. And so because of that happened, I was like, well, I guess I don't need my GOG games. Yeah, exactly. Guess I don't need to do that.
So it's funny that the old school emulators are easier to manage than the new school game launchers.
Yeah.
But I put all the emulators on just like you knew that I would. But then also I was like, well, I want to play my Epic games on here, and I want to play my my Microsoft Game Pass games on here. I even want to play my Blizzard games on here. Mm-hmm. And I was able to get most of it going. Amazon has a game store that I get free games from sometimes. So I was
That's
like, I want my Amazon games on here. I want
They're
that.
mine.
Yeah.
That's called Luna or Luma. Is that the Amazon one still?
No, what? Yeah, I think that's the controller that they released is called. That,
I thought the whole platform was that.
Oh, maybe it is. I don't know. They have a game launcher.
Okay.
I don't even know what it's called, but it has games on it. I own those games because they're given to me for free.
Yes.
And just like any other completionist,
You want it's
tendency
all
that
got to
I
be
have,
there. Yeah.
I need everything at my fingertips all at once.
Yeah.
So I spend a not inconsiderable amount of time trying to set it up. Oh, and then you could do this where you could set up Game Pass to launch through Steam, and maybe even your Game Pass games to launch through Steam. So I wanted in my Steam library it to show like all my emulator games. It's like, oh, I want to play Super Nintendo, so you could go into your Steam library and see your Super Nintendo games there.
Yeah.
And then just launch them from your Steam
individually or whatever. The way I've
Yeah.
done it, so I have if you launch straight into the Steam Deck mode, like the Steam Deck OS, like if you go to my library, there's a non-Steam games tab, and then all of my emulators are in there. But you have to actually open the. I'll do it here on camera. Every single ISO and ROM that you're about to see, I own, and I have a legal entitlement
It's all right.
to do this. So
If I had better
just,
prepared for this episode, I would have cited the case that gave you that.
Oh, we're
right?
fine, Daddy. We're fine because we have that tool. So yeah, here let me show. I'm gonna go to your camera here. Hello. So okay, up there. I just screwed the pooch. All right, I'm just gonna launch. So I go to non-Steam, and I'm gonna open up Dolphin, so the folks can see it. So here you go. Exposed, damn you. It's all blown out because it's white. But anyway, that's just a list
Great
of GameCube.
content. Great content right here.
It's
See
all-
all that white?
So the reason why ECW was so successful is because Paul Heyman accentuated the positives and he hid the negatives.
Okay.
So let's try hiding.
Okay.
Let's try hiding the
Hiding the
negatives.
negatives.
There we go.
Yeah.
We'll try this
Figuratively
one
and
more
literally.
time. Here we
Yeah,
go.
I'm ready.
So here's a not at all overexposed.
This is great, Brian.
Thank
Look
you.
at this.
Now we're learning.
Accentuate the positives.
So this globe of white hot heat here is the Dolphin launcher. But yeah, you just tap a game. For example, I will scroll with my finger here because you have to. Just dumb. Oh, cool. This is great. It's not even launching
My
here.
Steam Deck doesn't lock up like that.
Yeah, this is the first time that's happened, I think. Babe? Hey, babe, it's the first time. I swear. Babe? Okay, let's do... Oh, it's because I think you have Doom running. You do have Doom running. Okay, exit Doom. Exit Doom, I say. That Doom game, by the way. Jiminy Christmas. Okay, as I slowly lumber my way back to Dolphin here. Do I have the juice? I do. Okay. So, I'm going to load let's do this. So, this probably isn't going to work, but we'll try it anyway. So you can see that there. It's coming up. One of the best games ever made that Uncle Bob has never played.
Try to accentuate the positives.
Try to hide the negatives, accentuate the positives. Here it comes. Again, completely. So that's the OLED difference, is that it's
That's the OLED
it's very, very bright. Anyway, look, if I tilt it, you can see it better. That's The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker playing in twice the native resolution of an actual GameCube. And I wasted 3 minutes of our lives just to say this.
Totally worth it.
This is replaced my GameCube. Like,
Yeah.
I don't see a reason for me to go. And so I have a GameCube with an HDMI out. Like, it's the best possible video signal that you can have with a regular GameCube. And I spent money to make that happen. And for a period of time, it was a really cool thing. But now that I have this, there's really no reason for me to go back to play my GameCube because this is a better experience all the way around.
Oh, I see you've already started.
Oh yeah.
The game.
Oh yeah. And it rules. So that to me in and of itself is mind blowing. The fact that I have a thing that plays GameCube games better than my GameCube. And again, Dolphin's been around for forever. People have
Right.
been living this way in this wonderful paradise for a long time. But because it's new to me, it's still super magical. And it plays one thing that I've learned about the Steam Deck is anytime you have the option to change the API from OpenGL to Vulkan, do it. Because it's the secret. It's like the secret ingredient.
Oh, okay.
On GameCube, like I just started playing games or whatever after I had legally ripped them from my vast collection of GameCube games. But they ran chunky shit, and I was super disappointed because I had read like how great the GameCube, how great the Dolphin is on here, and then I was just farting through the menus as you do, trying to fix it, and then I clicked the box for Vulkan, and it was like a night and day difference. Wow. It was like, oh wow, you're running at 100% accuracy. This is amazing, and it runs PS2 like seemingly at 100%.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I've played PS1 games upscaled to like I think on my TV it was 1080p. I can't remember, but it was way upscaled. Like original PlayStation's like 320 resolution. Like it's really bad, and it all looked all natural. Like it didn't look like emulating at all to me. Like it was just like, man, I can't believe this is where we are now. And it felt to me almost like how like the same level of magic that it was in 1997 when I first played Pac-Man on MAME on DOS. And I was just like, I can't believe I'm playing Pac-Man right now on my computer, on my 386.
I remember I got a laptop for college, like 99, and I got some emulators and was playing Tecmo Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And I was like, what else do I need?
Yeah,
I just don't need anything else.
Nothing. You don't need anything else. So yeah, my takeaways with this thing is that I'm using it way more than I thought I would, which is surprising to me. Because again, I just thought I was buying. It was the thing that like, hey, I've got a nice, good paying job. I want to spend my money, and it just so happens that there's this Steam Deck that's coming out that's new. But it's ended up just blowing my mind and rocking my world. So I wasn't expecting that, honestly. Like I thought that my old habits of like being kind of disinterested in PC gaming in general would naturally follow through here. But as it turns out, the second you make PC games more console game like, I'm all the way in.
Well, and also accessible to you. So, and multiple ways now, because again, docked versus handheld.
Right.
So that's good. And it's funny because my experience is the exact opposite, because I need to use my Steam Deck a little bit more. I don't use it because again, I have a good home PC, but sitting here seeing Wind Waker, it's like, oh man, that is such a gaping hole in my resume to have not played that game.
So I can go ahead and legally rip you my copy of Wind Waker, and you can legally play it for a period of 24 hours. But then, if you don't delete that, I'm coming after you.
Can I delete it and then you rip it and then again and am I
again and again and again and again?
That's totally what we're gonna do. That's the plan.
And that plan is in concrete. So yeah, it's a great little expensive piece of technology. Yeah. One other thing I want to say before we wrap it up here too is like the build quality of it. Again, I was not expecting much because like when you think of Valve, like it's Valve. You know, they've been doing Steam for like 20 years now, and like that's a computer game, bro. You can't make no hardware. Yeah. And like no, it turns out that they can't.
And they've tried and failed at hardware a few times.
Yeah, but you know what's funny? Like, so I've owned 3 pieces of their hardware now: the Steam controller, the Steam Link, and now this. The Steam Link I bought because it was, I think, $4.99, and I was like, well, I'd be a fool not to buy this thing for $4.99. I think I plugged it in and used it exactly once. But whatever. Everything that they made has like a nice like feel to it. Like they
definitely.
You can tell that Valve has a couple pennies to rub together, and so their hardware they have that follow through with that too.
Yeah, it feels real good, and seeing yours now, it makes me want to go back and then finish organizing mine. It's like I downloaded and orchestrated everything so that it was all set up, and then I just left in the big thing that I really wanted to do, I wasn't able to do, which is to rip all my legally owned Switch games, and that had just the ability to do that came out about a year ago. But it's a very convoluted process, a very detailed convoluted process, and I was like, okay, it's going to take me a whole weekend probably. Yeah, so totally. I got to set aside time for that. But if I could ever do that, that would be great. Then I don't need my Switch anymore. And then I could just have the Steam Deck for all my PC needs and all my Switch needs, and I could just call it a day. So that is still on the bucket list. But I was very happy with my Steam Deck. I'm only unhappy that my life is such that I don't travel enough or get outside enough to really need to use it. So it's kind of sat around. I'm very happy for you, though, to be able to both get this on the bleeding edge of technology, because you bought it right after it came out.
Yeah, so for me, like, I thought it was going to be a case of like, well, I'm really glad I actually was able to get it because like I tried to buy it right when it came out. Like there was like
the launch minute.
Yeah, like the launch minute, and then of course, like it was insane. Like it was just stupid,
as it always is.
Yeah, and so I was like, why did I do this? But then I ended up getting the model that I have, which is the 512. It's right in the middle. It doesn't have the etched glass, nor the terabyte thing. But now I'm actually like glad that this happened to me this way because I looked up videos of the etched glass versus the non-etched.
Yeah.
And like the etched glass does obviously help with the glare, but like it's a noticeable like the especially with text, it's not as sharp.
Like a dimming. Or...
You see it. There's like a fuzz to it. And so with this one, if I ever want to do the etching, I can get like an etched tempered glass protector on there and try it if I wanted to. But given that the OLED screen is so beautiful and it's so vibrant and bright, colorful and all that shit, like I want it to be as crisp as possible. So I'm actually really stoked that it ended up that way for me, where I was forced to buy the middle one and I wanted the best. But whatever, I'm happy that it turned out this way. So yeah, Steam Deck is a surprise to me. I love this bugger. I'm going to continue playing and tinkering with it. And yeah, so it's, I guess now when you hear of a game that comes out on Steam that's about, someone's like, bad day at the office or whatever.
That's a bad. The big boss is the bad morning.
Yeah,
you're trying to get through the morning.
But now I have easy access to play that trash so that we can talk about it on this show.
I have so much trash to recommend to you.
Oh boy, I wait with bated breath. So that's gonna do us here on this little shorty midlife crisis. We are here obviously on YouTube. Please like and subscribe. We're also out there on Spotify if you want to listen and not look at our pretty mugs here. But why would you want to do that to yourselves? But it's available to you. So there you go, and we will be back with more midlife crisis. Oh, gentleman's handshake. We haven't done one. All right, here we go.
It's always your thing.
Let's go. Yep. Look at that.